mean, I would love to fight Canelo. It'd be a massive, massive fight, but Canelo says that he has other things, and he says I'm being too mean in the way I'm approaching him. So
you don't want to face monsters.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I got to work on my attitude.
In a startling turn, one of boxing's biggest stars, David Benavidez, announced his retirement following a devastating loss to David Morrell, a fighter who had been unbeaten for almost 10 years. Only days prior, it seemed impossible that Novowitz would leave the sport. He was widely considered to be one of the most dangerous fighters in the light heavyweight division, known for his vicious, power-aggressive style and his dominance over the competition. However, after this loss, everything changed, and the announcement shocked both boxing community members and boxing experts.
A lot of shit, but at the end of the day, we.
How could a fighter so untouchable in his prime decide to retire? Was it the defeat itself? Or was there something more going on here? Morrell and Benavidez were vying for a chance to establish themselves as the division's future, and Benavidez's goal was to secure his place as a top contender for the undisputed light heavyweight title.
Today, I say goodbye to the sport that made me who I am. Boxing gave me everything: discipline, purpose, and unforgettable battles. I fought with my heart, never backed down, and always gave the fans a show, but now, it's time for the next chapter. Thank you to my family, my team, and every fan who supported me. This isn't the end. My legacy will live on. Much love.
Canelo Alvarez always in his sights. A victory would have primed him for that lucrative, high-profile bout. The matchup with the Mexican superstar, however, was intense, with fans eager to see if Benavidez could continue his relentless pursuit of greatness, or if Morrell would finally stop him.
Turki Al-Sheikh said that he would like you to come to the Benavidez-Bivol fight. What are your thoughts on possibly doing that, and what do you think about fighting the winner next?
Morrell was young, unbeaten, and full of potential, and he had everything to prove that a victory would not only mark the rise of a new champion, but also put him in the conversation for the biggest fights in the sport, including possibly facing Canelo in the future. Expectations were high because both fighters had been playing at their best, and the event was being marketed as a possible classic. A fight between the old guard and the new blood. A fight that would determine the future of the light heavyweight division. However, no one anticipated how it all ended, with Benavidez's sudden retirement leaving both fans and analysts to deal with the reality of this unexpected turn of events.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely love to go. Right now, I'm just thinking about taking a break, bro. I've been training for 4.5 months, been preparing for this fight, but I would love to go over there. No, I would love to fight those guys. This is what I'm here for.
As the bell rang for the last time and the dust settled in the ring. Despite the hard-fought loss, it was sufficient for Benavidez to decide to leave the sport he had dominated for years. This wasn't just a fighter calling it quits after a few setbacks or injuries. Rather, this was a strong champion who had appeared unbeatable until now. Someone who seemed destined for greater things. Numerous questions were raised by the announcement. Was this only a loss? Or was there a confluence of unanticipated circumstances that led to his decision? As a dominant figure in the sport, fighter David Benavidez came into the bout with an unbeaten record and a reputation for his Benavidez. A former two-time world champion with savage power, known for his aggressive style, precision and ferocity in the ring, had earned his spot at the top of the light heavyweight division. His credentials were unquestionable. He had easily defeated opponents.
Yeah, no, he's bringing up that your manager's making more money than you. Can you clear the air on that? What do you make of those comments? And they're not true, right?
Demonstrating his dominating ability to defeat even the most formidable opponents. An undisputed title fight was within reach, a dream that had propelled Benavidez's career. This was a crucial moment, a make or break, chance to demonstrate that he was prepared to face the best in the world and stake his claim to the throne.
Morrell trying to fight back. Benavidez, though. Benavidez is not going to hold. He's going to fight through it. Unbelievable.
On the other side of the ring stood the young, undefeated phenom. The fans were incredibly excited about the fight with David Morrell because they knew that he wasn't just fighting for another victory. He was fighting to cement his place in boxing history.
He listened to the corner. They told him about the head movement. High dog, get in there.
He did get clipped.
Cuban fighter David Morrell has a remarkable amateur background and tremendous skill. Even though he had faced less seasoned opponents thus far in his career, Morrell's skill was undeniable, and both critics and fans were captivated by his raw potential. His quick hands, slick movement, and ability to read opponents made him a rising star in the division. But he had never faced anyone of Benavidez's caliber.
Early on, he's going to put that pressure on. And after we're seeing the defense, the head movement, the upper body movement, sitting down with the left hook, David Benavidez.
This fight marked a turning point for Morrell, as it was no longer about proving himself in the lower ranks. Rather, it was his chance to rise to the top of the boxing world. If he were to defeat Benavidez, he would not only win a major title, but also demonstrate that he had what it took to be the light heavyweight division's future. Because Morrell was the younger, fresher boxer who was hungry to succeed, and Benavidez was trying to establish his reputation, the bout generated a lot of buzz. The media hype reached a fever pitch, and the build-up to the fight was just as fierce as the actual bout was expected to be. As the two fighters engaged in heated verbal exchanges, psychological warfare played a major part in the drama that developed before they even entered the ring. Morrell, who was known for his brazen confidence, didn't think twice about making fun of Benitez, calling him RoboCop and implying that he lacked the flexibility and adaptability to compete with a fighter like him.
Brian, as we have mentioned, those deliberate starts, he's on a heater here right now. He made sure he's not going to actively give away rounds.
Since Morrell wasn't one to back down from a challenge, he used his own mind games to counter Morrell's comments with a composed but dangerous confidence. As the trash talk increased, the stakes rose, and the hype surrounding the fight was heightened, not only by the fighters' personal animosity, but also by the stark contrast in their careers. Benavidez reminded the media and fans that he had faced and defeated slick fighters like Caleb Plant and Demetrius Andrade, demonstrating that his ability to adapt to elusive, quick opponents was well established, and that he didn't need to prove anything in that regard. Instead, he focused on how Morrell had never fought at this level, and had never been truly tested against a fighter who could break him down physically and mentally. Benavidez, with his years of experience, champion pedigree, and unblemished record, and Morrell with his rapid rise, raw skill, and the chip on his shoulder. This wasn't just a fight for a title, it was a battle for respect. A fight for supremacy in a division that promised to be a fierce battleground for years to come for Benavidez. The fight was about much more than just the belt. It was his ticket to the biggest fight of his career if he could defeat Morrell. He would move one step closer to achieving his long-held dream. A showdown with Canelo Alvarez for the undisputed. Light heavyweight title Benavidez had been chasing Canelo for years, but had always been forced to wait in line as the Mexican champion dominated the division. A victory here would ensure that Benavidez was finally in a position to demand the biggest fight in boxing. The future was within his grasp. On the flip side, Morrell was fighting for validation. This was his chance to prove that he belonged in the elite ranks of boxing. A win over Benavidez would not only elevate him to the top of the division, but it would also cement his place as the future star of light heavyweight boxing, while Benavidez had already been tested and found victorious against top-tier opponents. Both fighters recognized the significance of this fight, For Benavidez, it was about securing his legacy and claiming the future he had been pursuing for years. For Morrell, it was a chance to rewrite history. Morrell had not yet proven himself against a fighter of Benz's caliber. So this fight was his chance to show the world that he was more than just a rising star.
I got you right here. Caleb, sweet hands, Clint. What do you think about the fight tonight, Benavidez versus Morrell? Man, hell of
But a force to be reckoned with in a sport where only the strongest survive. The fight between David Benavidez and David Morrell began with the much-anticipated ferocity that fans expected, as the story of his career demonstrated that the future was now and that he was prepared to take over the stage. Immediately, relentless, pressure and explosive punches attempted to take control and close the distance on Morrell. However, Morrell shocked everyone by demonstrating extraordinary skill and resilience. Rather than simply absorbing the onslaught, he used his slick movement and sharp jab to frustrate Benavidez and keep the pressure at bay in the first few rounds.